What is up, my spectacular Spider spectators here? You can call me Mr. Saw fan or Mr. Jigsaw fan, Mr. Halloween person or Mr. Horror person, horror person because it's time for us to get into the spirit of Halloween. In addition to do that, it's time. I already did it. Started with the Walking Dead Daryl Dixon reaction video yesterday night at the time of this recording. We're going to continue with the Saw franchise collection. I mean, this is most of the movies, all except Spiral and Saw X, which just came out at the time of this recording. So, the Saw franchise. This is a Saw 8-film collection starring Tobin Bell as the Jigsaw Killer, and so it launched back in 2004, almost 20 years ago. Next year it'll mark the 20th anniversary. So here's the side, and here's the back. It has the logos / title for every single, the first 8 Saw movies. Again, all except Spiral and Saw X, which again just came out at the time I was recording it. You can see the nice Billy puppet over there. It's really nice. I like the artwork and the detail on this. And here's inside it's about focus. Hang on. It's like the credits for each of the first 8 Saw movies. So let's get on start off with Saw 1, aka Saw. So the first Saw movie, it came out back in fall of 2004. It is about these two men named Adam and Dr. Lawrence Gordon. Dr. Lawrence Gordon. They were kidnapped and put in this abandoned bathroom, in this game system trap where their feet are tied to these chains, and they have to figure out a way to get out. Not only that, but they're also being stalked by someone. They're being spied on by somebody. In order to get out, the gentlemen have to work together. And it's not going to be easy, because when it comes to Jigsaw's games / traps, it's never easy. It seems like they have the saws in the bathroom. They have to look for a key. It seems like that he wants them to cut. So they figure that the saw is used to cut themselves out, but they at first they thought the Jigsaw Killer wanted them to cut through their chains. But it turns out he actually wants them to cut through their feet as a way for them to feel pain and punishment. The film also stars, the first film I'm talking about more specifically, it also stars the one and only Danny Glover, aka Roger Murtaugh from Lethal Weapon, and I forget his character's name in this movie, but he was also in Predator 2. Really brilliant actor. And this first Saw movie, like the sequels, contains a big twist. And it's unbelievable when you see the twist at the end. For those of you who didn't see it, you'll be amazed. For those of you who have seen it, you know what I'm talking about. And so in these traps in the franchise, if you live, you survive and live on. If you die, then game over. It's over for you. And so yeah, the first movie is really a classic. Honestly, it's one of the GOATs, honestly. And the reason it's called Saw is because, they use a saw to, spoiler alert, Dr. Gordon cuts through his foot to free himself from the chain trap. So yeah, the first one, and it's mostly set in the bathroom, but there are exterior scenes where set in an apartment building, set in an abandoned warehouse, showing lots of flashbacks, like how Dr. Gordon and Adam got kidnapped, and these other traps the Jigsaw killer put other victims through, and some died, some survived. Kind of cliche. It's sad, but that's what happens to some people in life. So yeah, that's Saw 1. It's really good and graphic. Saw 1 deserves a lot of credit. Because the OG, right? So next on, we're on Saw 2. Well, this is Saw 2 and 3, but we're on Saw 2. Now, it's obviously the first sequel to Saw. It came out in 2005. This one is about as far as a detective played by Donnie Wahlberg, Mark Wahlberg's brother, who's also on Blue Bloods. He's investigating these Jigsaw murders, right? Which features more traps and game set situations, by the way, more intense compared to the first one. In this film, apparently, so the detective's name is Detective Eric Matthews. His son, played by Eric Knudsen, has been kidnapped along with these other people, and they're put in this game situation in this abandoned house, and they have to get out of it, not only to survive, but also not only just to find a way out, but also because they're breathing in a poison gas that's slowly killing them. They have to find the antidote for each of them, otherwise they'll die. So yeah, it's really intense. Tobin Bell obviously returns as the famous John Kramer. That's the name of this killer. And obviously the Billy puppet returns too. This sequel, honestly, I personally enjoy. I think it's one of the best sequels, honestly, because it's like it makes you the vibe get more intense. Dr. Gordon does not return in this, but he kind of has to do with the movie though. Like, I'll mention it later, but you'll see when I mention it. You have to watch all the movies. So like very more terrifying than the first one. Very intense. People being violent and acting sensitive. It gets heavy as the film goes on. And this twist is even weirder. I mean, it's weird and unique, but I don't know if it's weirder, but it's weird in a unique way. I'll just say that. But yeah, Saw 2, I personally like it. Graphic, bloody, scary, entertaining, well written, well detailed. You name it. You gotta give it credit. So on to Saw 3 now. Now, obviously, it's the third installment in the original Saw trilogy. So this one, obviously, Tobin Bell returns as John Kramer, aka the Jigsaw Killer, once again. It's about a guy named Jeff. He gets kidnapped, put in this situation where he has to find his wife, ex-wife or his wife, who was kidnapped. And apparently, spoiler alert, the games and situations that happen, so traps that he goes through, he have to do with people who were involved in the murder, involved in the murder case of his son. Whether it was a witness or the perpetrator himself or the judge. It gets really intense. Now this one, scarier than Saw 1 and 2, in my opinion. More graphic, more disgusting, more detailed, more story-driven. Very, very I give this film a lot of credit. I think this is another one of my personal favorite sequels because it's very symbolic. Like the way the story comes full circle in a way, it's really entertaining. And spoiler alert, John Kramer dies in this movie. But even though he does die, his work still continues in the subsequent sequel. Like, you have to understand, I'll talk about it later, but yeah, that's how it happens. So yeah, like, the Saw movies, something, right? So yeah, Saw 3, more painful traps, more agonizing to watch, but very good sequel, because very symbolic, and very good acting, and other stuff, etc. Like, it's a well-written story, well-deserved to be watched sequel. Every few minutes something happens. It's not slow, it's not boring, it's not painful, it's not dull. It's a watchable, enjoyable sequel. Watchable, enjoyable sequel, and it's a scary sequel too. So yeah. So that's part of the, like, and here's a Saw. Hang on. Let's go to the disc. Saw 4. Now, this isn't, like, part of it takes place after Saw 3, but most of it takes place, it's mostly a midquel to Saw 3, which means, like, it takes place during the same time as Saw 3. It's about this other detective who used to work with Detective Eric Matthews. He gets kidnapped and gets put in a situation where he has to save his friend, Detective Eric Matthews, from the second movie. And he gets put in these traps involved with people who were involved in cases that he did as a detective. This film, it has more different unique traps. I can't say if it's scarier than the first 3 movies, but it's scary in a unique way. It has a lot more revelations, a lot more flashbacks with John Kramer and another character who I didn't mention, Amanda, one of Jigsaw's apprentices, like, who dies in the 3rd movie. More I think there are flashbacks of her. I forget. Well, some of them do. I forget if Saw 4 did, but you see her as a corpse in Saw 4. You do see flashbacks of Detective Eric Matthews, like, what happens to him. Even in Saw 3 too, but, like, yeah, like, Saw 4, like, yeah, again, set during the same time as Saw 3. It's watchable, gory in a unique way, new traps and situations, new characters. It expands the story because apparently you find out one of Jigsaw's apprentices who continues his work. It shows you that even though John Kramer may be dead, the games have only just begun because his work lives on, like, spiritually, like, they honor his memory, kind of cliche. So, killing John Kramer isn't enough to end the Jigsaw reign, the traps game situation once and for all. So that's part one of my Saw 8 film collection video review. Join us next time in part 2 as we review 5 through 8, and then Spiral eventually. Very fair to subscribe and even comment. Have a happy Halloween spirit in October. Be scary October too. See you soon. Peace.